broadcasting sports.
A slow whirler, going to be a tough play. Hunsley, bare hands on the bounce and throw. He got him. What a play from Grayson Hunsley on the bare hand.
It's time for Post 8 Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Post 8 Baseball is brought to you by Comtech, True Green Chemelon, Edward Jones Financial, Overhead Door, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, Jaeger, AGE, First Fidelity, and State Farm Becky Potsuba Agency.
This will be flown out by Charlie Simpson out to left field. Going back, it is gone! Charlie Simpson hits a two-run home run, and it's a 3-2 ball game.
Post 8 Baseball is also brought to you by Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, Oahe Federal Credit Union, Missouri River Dentistry, Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping, Agtegra, Farting Electric, Envirotech, and Kruger Climate Systems.
Here's a line shot out and towards left center field, diving and making the catch out in center is Sutton Sonnenschein. And a tip of the cap from the head coach.
Post 8 Baseball is also brought to you by Stalkin Peterson LLP, Wagner Auto, the South Dakota Office of Attorney General, Division of Consumer Protection, Gales Gas, First United Methodist Church, Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, Beck Motors, and May Adam.
Gets with a fly ball to left field. That one is going back to the wall. It's out of here. A 3-run homer for Dawson Getz. And it's a 4-0 lead for the Eights.
And by American Family Insurance Brittany Schaffelbein Agency, Lamb Motors, Bank West, CHS River Plains, Faith Lutheran Church, Graham Tire, Kathy Sonnenschein Properties, Venture Communications, and the American of Fort Pierre. And now, Post 8 Baseball on KCCR.
And a good afternoon as we welcome you here to the Fitz for our final game of the post pool play for Post 22's pool, as the Eights will take on the Post 22 18U team. They played the Hard Hats last night. It is still Rapid City Post 22, but it is the 18U team that they will play against in their final game of pool play, trying to go to 3-1 and have the best possible seed that they can going into tomorrow, whether that be playing the potential 2 o'clock Mountain Time game, or if they will end up being maybe the 5 seed. They cannot be any worse than the 6 seed. They can be the 5 seed at the worst. They can no longer be the top seed, with Miles City winning earlier today. They went to 4-0. Post 8 cannot catch them. They would need a lot of help. Even if Miles City would have lost, they would need a lot of help to get the runs allowed, and that would also then have that Post 22 would have to lose their game against Grand Junction. Grand Junction would have to lose the Post 22 18U in the next game. So a lot of things had to happen in these last 3 games to even have a shot. But the Eights still could be the number 2 seed when it's all said and done. They could be as far down as the 5 seed when it's all said and done. We'll see how this game goes here this afternoon against Post 22 18U, and a lot of shuffling of the lineup for Post 8s as they get into their 3rd and final pool play game. They will play one more game, or the 4th and final pool play game, and it'll be one more game tomorrow against someone from the Post 320 pool, and that will close out the weekend. We could be over at Pete Lean Field in Post 320. We're back here, the Fitz, for one more game. But the Eights took the Post 22 Hard Hats to 8 innings last night. They had a 2-0 lead in the top of the 2nd. It was tied 2-2 after 2. Stayed that way all the way until the 8th inning, and a walk-off base hit with the bases loaded to finish off from Blaine Hunt to walk off the Eights for Post 22 as they move to 5-0 in South Dakota games. Post 8 is now 1-3 in South Dakota games after their loss last night. It stopped the 3-game winning streak that they are on, as Post 8 is now 3-4 overall in the 2025 summer. They will take on this Post 22 18U team coming up here in just a little bit. We are a little bit behind schedule. We were scheduled to start at 2 o'clock locally, 3 o'clock Central Time, but Huron just beats the Wesco Zephyrs 18-9. So that with 27 runs scored in a game, that will push the start time back just a little bit as Wesco finishes at 0-4. Laramie finishes at 0-4 as well. And the Huron goes to 1-3. So Wesco is the 8 seed, Laramie the 7 seed. Huron still could be the 5 seed if Grand Junction will lose both games and get scored on a lot in those 2 games here tonight. But they can be the 5 or the 6. They cannot be the 4 seed. Post State could still be the 5 seed if Grand Junction will go 2-0 or just go 1-1 if Post State loses this game. But the 8s can no longer be under the 6 seed, and if they win, they can no longer be the 5 seed. I don't believe. Actually, they still could be, depending on how the 2 games go for Grand Junction. There's still a lot at play, and there's still a lot to be determined for this contest. But most likely what we're seeing is that the 8s will play at 2 o'clock Mountain Time tomorrow. There still could be a 12:30 game, or 12:30 Central Time game that they could play. But we'll see how things shake out as the rest of the day goes. We'll come back and we'll go through the starting lineups, get you set for this contest between Post 8 and the Post 22 18U team. Back in 3 minutes, you're listening to Post 8 Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Want technology solutions you can trust from a neighbor you know? Comtech, locally owned and serving Pierre and surrounding area since 2009, is dedicated to keeping your home, farm, and business connected and secure. We offer a full range of services, from audio and video, security, surveillance, and networking with expert installation and support. Visit our storefront, call us at 605-224-4066, or visit our website, comtechplus.com, to experience the Comtech difference. Comtech, your local technology experts.
Hey, yo, Speedo's Lawn Care.
Hello. Say, my yard's in rough shape. It's got weeds, brown spots, and crabgrass.
Yeah, no problemo. What shade of green you need? We got 31 shades of green over here. Even the latest shade of septic tank grass green. That one just naturally gives off a glow.
Call the professionals at True Green. They know how to get your lawn healthy and keep it healthy. They guarantee it. All technicians are trained and certified.
Call True Green, 224-1916.
When you're looking for quality trash pickup services, look no further than Envirotech. 6 days a week, their trucks are on the road picking up trash, even holidays. They're also the place to contact for recycling services. Their friendly, professional staff is ready to assist with weekly pickups or even special pickups. Check out the website at envirotechwaste.com. Envirotech is locally operated. Call 224-4804. Envirotech Waste Services in Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
When life throws you a curveball, May Adam Law Firm in Pierre is here to help you knock it out of the park. For over 130 years, we've been providing trusted legal expertise in business, family law, criminal defense, and more. Proud sponsors of this season's baseball action, we're committed to serving our community, both on and off the field. Need legal advice? Step up to the plate with May Adam Law Firm. Visit mayadam.net or call today. May Adam, South Dakota's law firm since 1881.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good, solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up, all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
We're back and we are ready to go for Post 8 coverage here on KCCR, as it is going to be the Post 8 team, the visitors on the scoreboard, with the Post 22 18U, obviously their home field, and they will be the home team on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebind scoreboard. As we look to the starting lineups, as the 18U team has taken the field, Will Danberg for the 8s will lead things off. He is the right fielder. Parker O'Brien will bat second and play third. Dawson Guess, the shortstop, will bat third. Porter Hunsley, the center fielder, is in the cleanup spot. J.J. Buckles, the DH, batting 5th. Nolan Peterson will bat 6th. He's the catcher. Richard Babcock, the first baseman, will bat 7th. Trevor Rouse, the left fielder, batting 8th. And Hudson Stosher, the second baseman, will bat 9th. Hudson Schaefer is on the mound for Post States in this ball game. They will go against the Braden Stoperts, as Stopert so far in the season, as we looked to his look for his stats. He has thrown 11 innings. It is 4 games played for Stapert with 3 starts, 2 wins so far, 5 hits allowed, 8 runs. 6 of those 8 runs have been earned. 8 walks, 16 strikeouts, the ERA at 3.82, the whip at 1.18, and the batting average against at 135. So Stapert has been good for Post 22 18U. So you look at this lineup for Post States, and a couple of guys have gotten the day off after really not being out of the lineup, other than maybe not being at the game for state track or other reasons. But the bench is Cooper Twilliger, Ridge Leinbach, Grayson Hunsley, Carter Shufflebine, and Charlie Simpson. And so you look at those 5 guys, they are kind of staples in the lineup. Leinbach obviously pitching last night was excellent in that game. Although they end up losing that game, he was excellent in it. But he does get the afternoon off. Same for Twilliger, who did not play and was not here on Thursday, is going to be out of the lineup today. Carter Shufflebine will be gone tomorrow, but also not playing today. Grayson Hunsley is out for this game, at least on the bench, and same for Charlie Simpson, getting a little bit of a day off and a chance to be on the bench to get things underway. As well, Danberg, who was instrumental in that 4-1 win against Laramie, will dig in to lead things off. First pitch to him is down the middle for strike 1 as we're underway here at 2:26 locally, 3:26 back in the capital city. Danberg had a triple that got things really going for the Eights back on Thursday against the Laramie Rangers. He tripled home the run that Parker O'Brien, he walked, and then he got the RBI triple that got the Eights in the lead, and he has hit right on the hip. That one doesn't feel good. That one hit him square on the hip. And so Danberg reaches base, and not the way that he was hoping to reach base, but he is leadoff man on to start this ball game, and it will bring up Parker O'Brien, the third baseman. This Eights team, so far in the 3 games, they've out-hit all 3 of their opponents. They out-hit Wesco 11-4. Out-hit Laramie 5-4, both those being wins. And then they out-hit Post 22 last night 8-6, although they lost 3-2 in that 8-inning affair. That was a really good baseball game last night. First pitch to O'Brien's over for strike 1. For Parker O'Brien, he was coming in this weekend. He is hitting .333. He was 3 for 9 coming in with an RBI, but O'Brien added on to the RBI total after he went 0 for 3 last night. On Thursday, O'Brien had gone 1 for 2 in game 2 and 1 for 2 in game number 1. So 2 hits so far. O'Brien will try and steal. It's a off-speed pitch to throw to second. He is safe at second. Nice slide there by Danberg going on the outside of the bag towards center field to be safe, and it's a ball taken to O'Brien. No, excuse me, it was a strike taken to O'Brien, so the count's 0-2, but a stolen base for Danberg. And O'Brien's going to hit with a runner in scoring position with nobody out here at the top of the first. Staper will come set from the stretch. He'll deliver the 0-2 pitch. Another curveball, ground ball that is going to be fouled on the third base line. And we'll do it again here at 0-2. Again, even with the win or loss, really, Post State's they know where they won't be if they lose a little bit more than what they could be if they win. But they move to 3-1. Well, Post 22 18U could be 3-1. Post 22 Hardhass could be 3-1. Then it goes to runs allowed. Here's a 0-2 pitch that'll miss low. Grand Junction could also be 3-1. Now, if they do win, actually they would know that they would not fall into the number 5 seed, because somebody will end up with 2 losses between Grand Junction and Post 22 18U in that next game. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. O'Brien will strike out. First strikeout of the ball game for Staper. 1 down here at the top of the first. And we'll bring up Dawson Getz, the shortstop. Getz had a triple to lead off the top of the second. He was driven in by the Cooper Twilliger RBI single in the top of the second before Peterson got the RBI to make it a 2-0 game in that second inning. Post 22, the Hard Hats led when they scored the game-winning run. That was the only time they led in the ball game, was at the very end with a walk-off single from Blaine Hunt. First pitch swinging by Getz, and he'll foul that one back, and the count's 0-1. Getz has had 2 extra base hits here so far in the tournament. He had a triple last night. He went 2 for 4 with a catcher's interference on top of it. And had a RBI double, 2 RBI double after getting 3 hits in the first game. So he's had 5 hits in total, 2 for extra bases so far for Getz in this tournament. He's had an excellent Veterans Classic. That'll catch the bottom of the zone at the knees for a strike, and the count's 0-2. And again, the schedule too, they might move things around a little bit. I would say that they will most likely not play at the first game. Will post 8. This will be off the hands, popped up, and it'll be caught by the catcher, the pitcher Stapert. And there's now 2 down here in the top of the first, and it's up to Porter Hunsley to try and drive in the leadoff man that is now standing at second base, and Will Danberg. They're going to try to stay to their seeds if they can. But if Post 8 is maybe facing the farthest traveling team from the Post 320 pool, then they might end up playing early. They're going to start figuring things out after this game is done. This will be off the glove of the catcher, sliding the throw to third. Danberg slides in, and so he is safe, and I believe maybe a little bit of a mix-up on the signs as the catcher in Tesh unable to come away with it. I mean, just bounced right off of his glove, turns into a pass ball on the strike, but Danberg does reach third. So along in a roundabout way, what I'm getting at is that while Post 8 won't be the 8 or 7 seed, they still might play at any point tomorrow. Even though the schedule kind of says one thing, on a Sunday, trying to get everybody back home at a decent time, they might end up just playing games how they find the distance and the travel to be efficient for everybody. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll miss low, and the count's now 1-1. Now, if Post 8 is playing Post 320, that'll be a late night for us. Then we'll play the final game, especially because we're one of the closest teams traveling to Rapid City for the tournament. Here's the 1-1. Hunsley does not check his swing, and the home plate umpire says it's a full swing. The count's now 1-2. And after a leadoff hit by pitch, Braden Stapert is a strike away from getting out of this first inning. But Danberg is leading away from third. Here's the 1-2. This will be grounded foul over to the third base side. And we'll do it again at 1-2. Coach Iverson makes the play over at third base. One-two pitch again here from Stapert. That'll miss outside, and the count's now 2-2. Part of the coaching staff for Jace Caldwell, I guess the 2 coaches. Jace Caldwell is the manager. Alex Dietrich, who is a big part of Post 22's teams the last couple of years. That one just misses outside, and the count's full now. 3-2 here to Porter Hunsley. Alex Dietrich, one of the assistant coaches, excellent hockey player for the Rushmore Thunder, great baseball player for Post 22, and now part of the coaching staff here for the 18U team. 3-2 pitch. This will be grounded down the third base side. It'll be a tough play by the third baseman. Throw to first is not going to be in time. It will be an infield single and an RBI for Porter Hunsley. Got up and down the line quickly, drives in the game's first run. An RBI the hard way for Porter Hunsley. That's a 1-0 lead here at the top of the first for Post 8. The 8s trailed 6-1 to Wesco before coming back and went 11-6. And until the Hard Hats beat them in 3-2. You really haven't thrown a pitch or hit without the lead, tied or without the lead in every single inning since it was a 6-1 game or a 6-5 when they ended up scoring 4 in that next inning to make a 9-6 lead. So they've played with the lead quite a bit over this Veterans Classic. J.J. Buckles took the first pitch, blown away for ball 1, and a diving catch by Tesh, the catcher. This will be popped foul and out of play, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Buckles so far, he hit in just the first game. He was 0 for 2 with 2 walks in that 11-6 win against Wesco. Would most likely he would be available tomorrow, but I would think that they'll hold him off until Wednesday when they take on Spearfish and that next doubleheader, knowing that even if you play post 320, it does not count for a South Dakota game because it was not on the schedule. And Spearfish will be your next South Dakota doubleheader. You're going to try and line up your pitching that way. There's a swing and a miss by Buckles, and the count's 2-2. Two-two count here with 2 outs in the top of the first. Porter Hunsley, who drove in the game's first run on an infield single, leads away from first. He takes off. That pitch is outside. It's now 3-2, and Hunsley will steal it standing up. No throw to second. I'm not sure that Coach Iverson gave him the steal sign, and maybe Porter Hunsley maybe thought it was 3-2, but also maybe hadn't read the pitcher well enough that he was going to get a good jump that he wasn't paying attention to him. Clearly, he got to second without a throw. There was no attempt from the catcher. 3-2 pitch. Buckles will foul this one away. And now with a base hit, obviously Hunsley not in motion on the pitch because he's standing at second. But a base hit would score him as he'll be off with contact. Staper will come set from the stretch. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That'll be a foul ball off the top of the bat. It was ball 4, going to be ball 4, but it hit the barrel or the handle of the bat right up on the hands of Buckles. But it is a foul ball, so he'll have to dig back in. On deck is Nolan Peterson, the catcher. Here's the 3-2 again. Ground ball on the left side. That's going to get through for a base hit. Porter Hunsley will be rounding third. He'll try and score. The throw coming up the line. He is going to be saved. Buckles will take second on the throw. No, he'll stay at first. But it is an RBI single for J.J. Buckles to make it a 2-0 lead. And that steal for Porter Hunsley turns into an effective one as he scores on the base hit. And the Ace waits no time to get on the board with a crooked number here in the top of the first. And now it's Nolan Peterson to the plate. Good piece of hitting. And also on top of that, with Hunsley being at second, the shortstop was playing a little bit more closer towards the bag to hold them on, which allows that room to be had for a base hit. First pitch will be upstairs to Peterson for ball 1. Nolan Peterson went 1 for 3 last night with that RBI single. Went 0 for 2 in game number 2 and also 0 for 2 in game 1. As that'll be fouled away by Peterson. The count is even at a ball to strike. Buckles will lead away from first with 2 outs. 2 hits in the inning, 2 runs scored. That'll be over for a strike, and the count's now 1-2. Now Staperd, watching him a little bit closer here the last couple pitches, his leg kick is a little bit slow to the plate, which Hunsley, again, whether Coach Iverson gave him the steal sign or not, was able to get a really good jump because he gets a high leg kick from the stretch. Here's a ground ball that'll be missed by the pitcher, Staperd. Fielded by the second baseman, who will throw to first in time to retire Nolan Peterson and put an end to the first inning. But 2 runs score on 2 hits in the inning, no errors and a man left on base. We head to the bottom of the first, a 2-0 lead for Pierre over Post 22 18U. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC. We welcome you back. It is the bottom of the first and a 2-0 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard for Post 8 over Post 22 18U. And again, this is the 18U team. The Hard Hats are the Senior Legion team. This 18U team is the new rule in South Dakota Legion is that you can only have one Legion team playing in the Legion, Senior Legion season. So Harrisburg Maroon, the Renner Monarchs, who played last couple years, they've had two teams as Harrisburg and Renner the last couple years. They no longer are part of Senior Legion. Post 22 now with an 18U team as well. So that will then, they'll have an 18U tournament. There might be a couple other teams that in the state that will be available to play in that. But that 18U tournament will be here in Rapid City at the end of the season. Here's Brixton Steen to lead things off. Brixton Steen, the second baseman, leading things off. Carter Brager, the DH, will bat second. Hadley Burris, the third baseman, batting third. Reagan Koskin, the left fielder, batting fourth. Ben Hassett, the right fielder, batting fifth. Reagan Turnquist, the shortstop, will bat sixth. Easton Tesh, the catcher, batting seventh. Paxton Fisher, the first baseman, batting eighth. And Bridger Karn, the center fielder, will bat ninth. It is Hudson Schaefer on the mound as the first pitch misses for ball one. This will be Schaefer's second appearance overall, as that'll miss outside, and the count's 2-0. Schaefer threw 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 1 run with 2 walks, and a strikeout. That ERA, of course, is ERA, whip, and batting average against is all inflated with not having thrown a full inning yet. That's over for a strike, and the count's 2-1. So a good outing here from Hudson Schaefer, and those ERA, whips, batting average against all will go down tremendously. As Brixton Steen hitting 167 so far, 2 hits, 1 run driven in, but it only had 12 at-bats coming into the weekend, or coming into this tournament, as that one will catch the outside corner. The count's 2-2. Brixton Steen, part of that state championship Rushmore Thunder team. Here's now the 2-2 pitch. That one's off the handle. That's going to get through the left side for a base hit. Past the outstretched Parker O'Brien, who's playing third in this ball game, and a leadoff single to kick off the bottom of the first. And here is Carter Brager, who is off to a hot start coming into the weekend. 500 batting average for Brager. 6 of 18. To make that 8 of 16. With 2 doubles and 3 runs driven in. He's been off to a great start to start the year. Brager digs in. Schaefer will work from the stretch. Delivers the first pitch. That one will be above the zone for ball one. Schaefer worked with the stretch with nobody on base, so nothing changes as the 1-0 pitch will be swung on and missed, and the count is now even at a ball and a strike. Here to Carter Brager, who is the DH in this game, hitting for Braden Stapert. Here's the 1-1. Curveball that bounces in, blocked up by Peterson. The count goes to now 2-1. Hudson Schaefer, recovering from an injury, was able to take a couple at bats from the spring season, but not allowed to really run or want to run as fast as he can. That'll miss low and away, and the count's 3-1. But he is able to throw. Trevor Rouse kind of dealt with something similar last year where he was able to pitch but did not play the field really and only had like 2 at-bats the entire summer. But was able to pitch when needed and when he was able to. 3-1 pitch. Here's a ground ball. O'Brien will field at third. He'll throw to second for 1. To first is not going to be in time. It'll be a fielder's choice. As Hudson Stosher tried to turn it at second, but they do get the lead runner. And there is 1 down here in the bottom of the first. And it will bring up Hadley Burris. Score at 5-4 on the fielder's choice. Burris is hitting .361, 13 hits so far with 3 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs with 17 runs driven in. That is the team high in RBIs, obviously the team lead in home runs as well, as he's had 3 of the 5 home runs. So he's got a lot of power. First pitch, runner takes off. It will hit the batter, so it'll be first and second regardless of what happened at second base, as Burris is hit by the pitch, and it's first and second here with 1 away. And it's Reagan Koskin now. Koskin did not have an official at-bat coming into the weekend, as the left fielder will dig in with runners at first and second and 1 away. Bridger Babcock was moving in. This will be a bunt, perfectly placed. Nobody at first base, nobody over at third. And so it'll be the bases loaded now, an infield single. It was perfectly placed on the third base line. Bridger Babcock was charging. Parker O'Brien was staying put with a chance that if that had come back to Hudson Schaefer, they could throw to third. But Hudson Stosher was over at second. He had to be over at first. Would have been a tough play, but now the bases are loaded with the infield bunts. And there'll be another bunt attempt, and they'll have to throw it home. That will be in time, and there's now 2 down. So they bunt the ball with the bases loaded, and they bunt it right back to the pitcher, the one spot that you couldn't bunt it back to. And they get the force out at home. 1-2 in the force out, and it's a fielder's choice, second one of the inning. Bases remain loaded. That was a pretty good gift there for the Eights, as Reagan Turnquist will come to the plate. Bases are loaded here with 2 away. First pitch, over for strike 1. Coach Caldwell at the third base coaching box took his helmet off after that bunt was right back to the mound. 0-1 pitch, curveball that stays upstairs, counts 1-1. That's a big gift for the Eights, and they have a chance now to get out of this inning without any damage. The base is loaded with 1 out, fielder's choice on a force out at home. The 1-1. Ground ball, the left side, Dawson Getz will field. He'll throw to short to second, and that will retire the side. And a good job for Hudson Schaefer to get out of the inning. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. 1 complete here at the Fitz, a 2-0 lead for Post 8 over Post 22. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Stolken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre.
Swing for the fences with a great deal from Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre. Whether you need a powerful truck, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a spacious SUV, they've got the perfect lineup to keep you on the road and in the game. Don't strike out. Stop by today or visit CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, where the best deals in town are always in play.
It is the top of the second and a 2-0 lead of American Family Insurance. Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard for Post 8, and it will be 7-8-9. Bridger Babcock, Trevor Rounds, and Hudson Stosher. He might reach his base. It will then go back to the top of the order for Will Danberg. And the 8s will hit with the lead to start this top of the second. So Bridger Babcock will lead things off. This will be his first at-bat of the Veterans Classic. He is 0 for 1 so far with the 2 plate appearances that he has seen. Was hit by a pitch in the 1 plate appearance where he didn't get the at-bat. Reached base that one time. So Babcock will dig in. Try to get the 8s going here at the top of the second. The lefty in the batting order will look for Staper to deliver the first pitch, and it'll be outside for ball 1. Well, they have a lefty in Porter Hunsley. Throwing-wise, he bats right. Bridger Babcock will throw right and bat left, so it'll be outside, and the count's 2-0. And really, that's is the only lefty other than Braden Houlette who will throw left and bat left. I would say we probably won't see Houlette hit out unless there is something that wild happens or there's very few guys that are available, whatever that might be. 3-0 pitch, it'll be a leadoff walk, so the leadoff man has reached base twice. Danberg has been hit by a pitch, and then Bridger Babcock didn't see a strike. And so it's a runner on first to start off the top of the second. And now it's Trevor Rounds. For Trevor Rounds, he is hitting .333, just 1 for 3 in his 5 plate appearances. Does have a triple in that 1 hit that he has. Did score a run along with drawing a walk. Shows bunt and will bunt it over the backstop for strike 1. Trying to play a little small ball for Coach Iverson again. 8s failed a couple times to play small ball last night. Only 1 sacrifice bunt, I believe, in the 4 that were put down. This will be at the plate. That is a fair ball. The throw to first. It is a sacrifice bunt. It was as fair as, I mean, it was as close to being foul as you could possibly be. It was right on top of the plate, but it is a fair ball, and there's 1 down on the sacrifice bunt, 2-3. So now here's Hudson Stosher. He was coming in at 0 for 2 on the season into the weekend. And he will look for his first at-bat of the Veterans Classic. He'll foul that first pitch for strike 1. Bridger Babcock now at second with 1 out here in the top of the second. Again, Post 8 is looking for a win to go to 3-1 in the pool, which will put them in the top 4 of the pool regardless of what happens. They could be 2, 3, or 4. As that'll be fouled back, and the count's 0-2. Most likely scenario would be that they would be the 3 or 4 seed if they end up winning here in this game. Miles City is that the 1 or 2 seed. Post 22, both the Hard Hats and 18U still have a chance to be the number 1 seed. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Stosher turns on it, out towards left field, down the line. That is going to be 1 hop off the top and over the top of the wall. Bridger Babcock will score. It'll be an RBI ground rule double for Hudson Stosher and a 3-0 lead. That one hopped and hit the yellow on top of the wall and skipped over. Might have saved a triple for Post 22 18U. But Bridger Babcock scores as he was at second base. The sacrifice button helps out, and it makes it a 3-0 lead here for the 8s in the top of the second with only 1 out. A 2-strike pitch that Stosher was able to turn on. Where the 8s just continue to hit triples. That one Again, the way the ball is bouncing and the speed of Stosur, he might have been standing at third. But instead, he gets the ground rule double, but an RBI nonetheless. His first of the season, and it's a 3-0 lead. And it's back to the top of the order for now Will Danberg. Your 7, 8, 9 hitters do a great job. A walk on 4 pitches, a sacrifice bunt, and then a ground rule double. That makes this entire lineup much more dangerous the rest of this game. The confidence level of those last 3 guys in the order. Here's the first pitch to Danberg, who is hitting the hip in his first at-bat or first plate appearance. He takes low for ball 1. Hudson Stosur leading away from second. 1-0 pitch to Danberg. Swings and misses. A big cut there from Danberg, and the count's 1-1. Between Danberg, you would think, if I had to guess, Will Danberg and J.J. Buckles will be your starters next Wednesday against Spearfish. Danberg could pitch again tomorrow. Here's the 1-1. But again, the game, regardless of who you play, you're not playing Sturgis. You could have played Sturgis. I guess you still could potentially play Sturgis. They have 2 games today. Or you could play Post 320, but either way, that does not count to the South Dakota standings because it was not an official scheduled game. 2-1 pitch. That'll be at the knees for a strike, and the count's 2-2. So something like tomorrow will be another chance for guys that, you know that Danberg, Leinbach, and Buckles are probably your 3 starters throughout the South Dakota season that you want to try and make sure that they're available. This will bounce in. Taken for third is Stosur. The throw to third. He is safe as he reads it well on a pitch of the turf. Slides it well as well and stays on the base. And the count's now full at 3-2. And Stosur, with 1 out, can be drove in by a productive out by Danberg. And the infield will come in all the way around for the 18U Post 22 team. Here's the 3-2 to Danberg. There's a fly ball that will get the job done. As backing up as the center fielder and Carter make the catch. Stosur will tag. He will score without a throw. It's a 4-0 lead here for the Eights on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. A productive out, 2 productive outs that help run score for the Eights here in the top of the second inning. Second RBI of the weekend for Will Danberg. And now it's Parker O'Brien who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 2 runs in each of the first 2 innings here for the Eights. Good start to this ball game for Pierre. First pitch, O'Brien will foul it back for strike 1. And again, Sunday's game is up in the air on the time. We have to wait closer to probably the end of the day to know what time it will be. But we'll have it here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Again, we're mostly assuming that we will not be playing the first game of the day. By seed-wise, we wouldn't, but by travel-wise, maybe they'd move things around. We just assume we won't be playing that. Otherwise, we'd have to move to the Rock Station for the church service to be played at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, but that seems unlikely. 2-1 pitch. That'll miss inside, and the count's now 3-1. It'll be a 10 a.m., 12:30, 3 o'clock, and 5 o'clock Central Time starts are the potential of those games. This will be fouled out of play. And the count's now 3-2 here to O'Brien. Then the Eights will travel to Spearfish on Wednesday. They'll go up to Dickinson for 2 games Friday, 2 games Saturday next weekend. The 3-2 pitch to O'Brien. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. And that will end the top of the second. But another 2-run score on just 1 hit in the inning. No errors and no one left on base. Head to the bottom of the second, 4-0. Pierre leads it over Post 22, 18U. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention, it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Becky Potsaba and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
Bottom of the second, 4-0 lead American Family Insurance. Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. It's 7-8-9 for Post 22, who left the bases loaded stranded in that first inning. Easton Tesh, Paxton Fisher, and Bridger Karn. Trevor Rounds is out in left. Porter Hunsley in center. And Will Danberg in right. Parker O'Brien at third. Dawson gets at short. It is the second baseman, Hudson Stosher. Bridger Babcock at first. Nolan Peterson gives the sign behind the plate to Hudson Schaefer, who will deliver the first pitch. Bouncing in for ball one. Easton Tesh, the catcher here for the Post 22 18U. They will play another game after this. They'll play Grand Junction, Grand Junction will play the Post 22 Hard Hats in the final game of pool play. That 1-0 pitch will also miss low, and the count's 2-0. Tesh hitting .393 so far. 2 doubles, 2 runs driven in, 11 of 28 on the season coming into the weekend. 2-0 pitch. That's over. No, that one will miss for ball 3. Looked close. Looked like it could have been strike 1, but instead of 3-0 count here to Tesh, will most likely be taking all the way. The Eights have a 4-0 advantage on just 3 hits in the first 2 innings. 3-0 pitch will miss, and that's a 4-pitch walk to Easton Tesh. And it brings up Paxton Fisher, the first baseman. We'll have a courtesy runner for the catcher. First time we've actually seen that so far in this tournament, at least during the post-8 games. As it'll be Eschmeyer that will run for the Post 22 18U team. Hudson Schaefer will work from the stretch. First pitch comes inside, nearly hits Fisher. And that's 5 straight misses here to kick off the bottom of the second right now for Hudson Schaefer, trying to find his spot. A 1-0 pitch. Runner takes off. They'll miss. Will be taken for a strike. The throw will get to second, and it will bounce off of the runner and Hudson Stosher. Count goes now 1-1, but a stolen base for Eschmeyer. And he is in scoring position here with nobody out with a 1-1 count. You're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. John Wickler with you on this Saturday afternoon. Eliza Mayer back in studios. 1-1. That'll miss low, and the count's 2-1. 4-0 is their score. 2 runs in the first, and an RBI single from infield single by Porter Hunsley, and an RBI single from J.J. Buckles. RBI ground rule double in the top of the second from Hudson Stosher before a sac fly RBI for Will Danberg to get the Eights a 4-0 advantage. 2-1 pitch. That'll be upstairs. It is now 3-1, and Schaefer in danger of walking the first 2 guys. It's a 7-8-9 in the order. Bridger Karn, the center fielder, is waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1. That'll miss for ball 4. Back-to-back walks to open up this bottom of the second. And it will bring up Bridger Karn. And Brixton Steen, the top of the order, is on deck. Bridger Karn, the center fielder. 158 batting average, 3 of 19, 2 doubles in his 3 hits with an RBI. First pitch, that's at the knees for strike 1. Schaefer trying to find the strike zone right now, and early danger in this bottom of the second inning. He worked around in the first. Can he play with fire, not get burned again here in the second? Showing bunt, pulling it back, and then the throw will go back to second base. Short hopped and caught by Getz. As the runner at second, and Eschmeyer was getting a little bit too far off the bag. And Getz moving up the line or up towards the home plate to make sure that he was able to field that ball and not let it get into center field. Here's the 1-1 from Schaefer. Showing bunts, and he fouls that one, does Karn. And the count's now 1-2. He jammed at it a little bit. That one caught Peterson somewhere off away from the chest protector and maybe on the arm. So the count goes to 1-2. Top of the order is waiting here for the post-22-18U team. Schaefer looking for his first strikeout. 1-2 pitch. That'll bounce in good. Block there by Peterson. Keeps it in front. Keeps those runners at first and second. Counts now 2-2. If he can get a ground ball here somewhere up the middle, chance to turn to and get a twin killing here in the second inning. Two. That'll bounce in. It will get away from Peterson, who will not make the throw to third. He had it, but decided not to throw it. It'll end up being a wild pitch. And it's now second and third here with nobody out. The 3-2 will miss for ball 4. And the bases are loaded on 3 straight walks here in the second inning. And the top of the order now is up for Brixton Steen. Brixton Steen singled and then was thrown out on the fielder's choice. He singled to lead off the bottom of the first inning. He quickly represents the tying run here in the bottom of the second inning. Hudson Schaefer now with the bases loaded decides, let's go from the windup here. Here's the first pitch. That one's at the knees for strike 1. Bases were loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the first. They tried a bunt attempt. Did not work out. It went right back to the mound and easily thrown home from Schaefer. That one will catch the zone as well at the bottom at the knees. And it counts 0-2 here to Brixton Steen. Bases loaded with nobody out. Schaefer ahead, 0-2 in the count. From the windup, delivers. Curveball that stays upstairs, doesn't break in time. Moves the count to 1-2. Ground ball back to Schaefer. A nice, good bounce to him would be huge. Or a strikeout here. 1-2 pitch. It'll be a ground ball over to the first base side. Hudson Stosher will field that one. His only play is to first, so it will get the run in. It takes away the double play opportunity, and it makes it a 4-1 ball game on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. So an RBI ground out, 4-3. And now it's Carter Brager. He grounded into a fielder's choice and was thrown out at home, part of the other fielder's choice in that first inning. As post-22-18U gets a run back. First pitch will miss for ball 1. Be interesting to see where Coach Iverson goes after Hudson Schaefer. And obviously Schaefer's got plenty of pitches remaining, but the first 2 innings, he would have to be really, really effective to get all the way through 7. This will be a fly ball. Danberg, that will drop in front. He broke back, and then by the time that he came up with it, he'll throw it all the way home, which will allow the other runner, the hitter, and Brager to get to second on the throw. It's now a 4-2 ball game. He broke back, and then when he realized that he had to come in, was not able to get to the ball in time, and then overthrew his cutoff man, which allows Brager to get to second. It's an RBI single. And it remains second and third, and it's now a 4-2 ball game. And now Hadley Burris, ground ball over to the third baseman. O'Brien will field. His throw to first will be in time. Another run will come in to score. And there is now 2 down, but 2 ground outs have helped score 2 runs along with a base hit. And it's 4-3, a 3-run inning here for the Hard Hats. Make that for the post-18U team. So 5-3 on the RBI ground out for Burris. And now it's Reagan Koskin who will miss or take for ball 1. Runner on at second, that's the tying run. There's Carter Brager. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Schaefer, the long look. That will hit Koskin, and he will be on first and second now with 2 away. And Ben Hassett, the right fielder, will come to the plate. He grounded into that was the bunt attempt that was the fielder's choice. The 3 walks issued by Hudson Schaefer have all come in to score in this inning. It'll still be first and second now with the hit by pitch, but the little things in baseball, sometimes can add up. That ground or the fly ball to Danberg is what it is with the ball dropping in front of him, and again he broke late, broke back first, and then if he dives and misses it, that's that opens the door for a lot of things. This will be in front of the plate. The no throw coming from Peterson after he blocked it up, and it's now second and third, and the tying run is 90 feet away, and the go-ahead run all of a sudden is in scoring position. The count's 2-0. Here to Ben Hassett. But had he hit the cutoff man, that ground ball over to third, O'Brien bobbled it a little bit, but you probably still get that lead runner and a chance to try and turn 2. And maybe he got out of the inning before Koskin came to the plate. Maybe he's not, and you're still in the same spot that you are right now. It's just doing the little things right. 2-1 pitch will bounce in. The count's now 3-1. Three 3-1 counts with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Runner on third is Carter Brager. Koskin over at second, the 3-1. That'll bounce in, and it'll be ball 4. And the bases are now loaded. Here with nobody out, with 2 outs here in the inning. And Coach Iverson will make his way out. That runner on third, and Brager was trying to see if maybe he could catch Schaefer sleeping. As Coach Iverson will make his way out to talk with Schaefer. Try and get him through this inning and keep Post 8 with the lead. Hudson Schaefer so far, as we look at the stats on Game Changer, has thrown 44 pitches and still trying to get out of the second inning. That would lead you to, with 105 pitches, right around 4 innings of work before he'd have to come out of the ball game. So, again, mentioned, where does Coach Iverson go to after this? And obviously there's still plenty of opportunity for Schaefer to really settle in and fire strikes and get his pitch count low, have efficient innings, but the pace that Schaefer is on, pitch count wise, that it won't be sustainable to get through the entire 7 innings of the game. And obviously Coach Iverson had an idea of who he was going to go with in that spot, in the first relief spot. Maybe the second relief spot, maybe still that first one, was dependent on what inning, what the score was, how things were going. Saying you might go with this guy with this type of a game. You might go with someone else if it's this score. This counts 2-0. Or being a non-South Dakota game, you said whatever the score is, this is the first guy that's coming in relief. Whether I have to go to him in the second or the 7th. 2-0 pitch here to Ben Hassett. That'll miss as well. Make that to Reagan Turnquist. And the count's now 3-0, and Schaefer is in danger of walking in the tying run. 4 walks issued in the inning for Schaefer. 3-0. That'll miss for ball 4. It's now a 4-4 ball game. So all 9 men have come to the plate. It's an RBI for Turnquist. And Easton Tesh, who led off the inning with a walk. That will end the day for Hudson Schaefer, and they will go to the bullpen. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the second inning, and we will have a pitching change. We'll tell you what that is here in just a moment. We'll come back in a minute. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on KCCR. Watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684.
It is the bottom of the 4th. Bases are loaded with 2 outs, and Dawson Getz is now the man on the mound. He will have his 2nd appearance overall of this Veterans Classic. Carter Shufflebein will come into the ball game as he will be in place of J.J. Buckles in the batting order and in place of Hudson Schaefer on the field. As Shufflebein will be the most likely, I would say, would be the shortstop. Everybody else will stay the same with Getz moving to the mound. Gets through just 1 inning, and that was against Laramie after Braden Hulett went 6 innings, giving up just 1 run and 3 hits. Gets went an inning with a hit and a strikeout without allowing a run on 13 pitches, so he didn't have very much used at all and was available yesterday, but will throw again here today. So Shufflebein will be at short. And Getz is now on the mound, and we can't close the book yet on Hudson Schaefer until after either 3 runs, and you hope that those 3 runs don't score. No runs score, but we can't close the book until those 3 runs are in or the inning is over. As it is Easton Tesh that will be the first man to see Dawson Getz, and the first pitch is missing for ball 1. He walked to lead off this inning, 10th guy to come to the plate. That one might have just missed outside. And I think Dawson Getz is trying to ask the home plate umpire, was it high or outside? But the umpire isn't saying anything back to him. 2-0 pitch. That's over for a strike, and the count's now 2-1. Schaefer did go 1 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 5 walks without a strikeout, and 48 pitches. All 4 runs are earned to this point. That one's over for a strike, and it's now 2-2. So from 2-0, Getz has fired back 2 strikes and trying to keep this a 4-4 game to the 3rd inning. The 2-2. There's a fly ball, right field side, down the line, and it will land in a fair ball. 1 run will score, 2 runs will come in to score, and it's a 6-4 ball game. On a 2 RBI, 2-out double for Easton Tesh and a 6-run inning for the post-22 18U team. And it extends the inning to Paxton Fisher. Koskin and Haskett both score. Turnquist over to 3rd. And a perfectly placed hit down the right field line makes it a 6-run inning and a 6-4 lead. First pitch will be upstairs for ball 1. So those 6 runs have all come against Hudson Schaefer. But he is still also responsible for the runner over at 3rd. That's over for a strike. And the count is even at a ball to strike here to Paxton Fisher. 4 of the 5 walks of the inning have come in to score. But all free passes other than that, the walk and the runner at Turnquist over at third, have come in to score in this inning. Free passes, you can't give those up. Post 22 has made you pay in this inning. Counts 1-2 here to Fisher. That one will be freezing Fisher for strike 3, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the second. But 11 men come to the plates, 6 runs score on just 2 hits in the inning. No errors and 2 men left on base. We head to the top of the third. It is a 6-4 lead for Post 22 18U over Pierre Post 8. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Venture Communications has deep roots in rural South Dakota. Venture now proudly provides fiber to the home with 100% of our customers, enabling them to enjoy super fast and reliable internet connections. We'd like the opportunity to keep you in touch with the people and resources that matter most. 100% fiber and 100% committed to rural South Dakota. Call Venture Communications today at 605-852-2224, 605-852-2224, or online at venturecom.net.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
So now it is the top of the third in a brand new ball game. Post 22 18U has a 6-4 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard, and it will be 3, 4, and 5 for the Eights. Dawson Guest, Porter Hunsley, and Carter Schuffelbein, who is in the place of J.J. Buckles in the batting order as the DH is gone for the remainder of the game. And it's a straight National League, old school National League lineup. Yeah, old school National League lineup. Here's the first pitch to Dawson Guest. Top of the zone for strike 1. Getz is 0 for 1. He popped out to the pitcher and Stapert as he had to move off the mound to his left. That'll miss low, and evens a count of the ball and a strike. This is the 4th and final pool play game for Post 8. 1-1 pitch. That'll miss low. Moves the count to 2-1. Post 22 18U will play Grand Junction, and then Post 22 Hardhats will play Grand Junction to close it out. Ground ball left side, that is through for a base hit, and a leadoff single for Dawson Getz, as the Eights have had the leadoff man on base in all 3 innings. Both times they've come in to score. Let's see if they can keep that moving here at the top of the third. And it's Porter Hunsley an RBI single, infield single with 2 outs in that top of the first inning. Buckles, meanwhile, as he will finish his day 1 for 1 with an RBI single. His lone at-bats at the DH. First pitch to Hunsley will be upstairs for ball 1. And Porter Hunsley was coming in. He was just 1 for 5 coming into the weekend. Picked up the RBI on that infield single. 1-0 pitch. That'll be runner taking off for a second to throw to second, and they've thrown out Dawson Getz trying to steal. And it's 1 down here in the top of the third. Nobody on base. Count is 2-0 as the pitch missed high. And so nobody on now. That one will catch the zone to Hunsley, and the count's now 2-1. Hunsley, that, and not that his bat isn't already there, but will continue to get better as the year goes on, as he's just a rising sophomore right now, as it counts 2-2. Here to Hunsley. But he reads the ball really well off the bat out in center field. Here's a ground ball that'll be up the middle. Might have been touched by the glove of Stapert. Backhanded by Steen at second. His throw to first will be in time. And on the exchange, they're saying that the first baseman dropped it on the exchange, so the out is confirmed at first base, and there's now 2 down. And it brings up Carter Schuffelbein, who is hitting in place of J.J. Buckles. Schuffelbein hitting in a spot other than the leadoff man in the batting order. We'll take the first pitch high for ball one. Hit a 2 RBI single in that first game that put the finishing touches on the 11-6 win against Wesco on Thursday. Went 0 for 3 in the second game. Went 1 for 3 last night against the Hard Hats. And is now up in the count 2-0 here in his first at-bats, the first plate appearance of the fourth game of the weekend. 2-0 pitch. No miss inside. The count's now 3-0. Stapert delivers a 3-0 pitch. Schuffelbein was taken all the way. It's over for a strike, and the count is now 3-1. Going to be a 2-out base runner here is Schuffelbein. 3-1 pitch. Couldn't pull the trigger on the 3-1 pitch. Over for a strike. Maybe was looking fastball. Had the right spot, I think, but was maybe looking fastball and got more of an off-speed pitch off of a changeup. 3-2. Going to be a ground ball. That'll be gloved by Stapert at the mound. His throw to first will be in time, and it will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, and no one left on base. And for the first time since game one, Post 8 will be trailing heading into the bottom half of an inning. 6-4 is the lead for Post 22 18U. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Yag Air Incorporated is your locally owned ag chemical and seed retailer. Yag Air Incorporated offers reliable ground and aerial application. For the latest seed and chemical pricing, contact Kyle at 605-280-8710 or Tony at 605-280-4771. Yag Air for all your ag chemical and seed needs. Kyle, 605-280-8710 or Tony, 605-280-4771.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Bottom of the third, a 6-4 lead on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard for Post 22 18U. 9-1-2. Bridger Karn will lead things off, followed by Brixton Steen and Carter Brager. 11 guys coming to the plate in that third inning, scoring 6 times. I think that the second inning, scoring 6 times. It's imperative here for Dawson Getz to get a 0 and allow the Aces to try and make a comeback here against the 22 18U squad. That 0-1 pitch, that one will be a low strike, picked up, and the count's 0-2. Just found the bottom of the zone. Karn drew a walk in his first trip to the plate. The 7-8-9 group all walked to lead off the bottom of the second and all came in to score. This will be grounded foul over to the first base side. And it remains at an 0-2 count. The final scores from earlier today, being here at the Post 22 pool, Miles City finished off a 4-0 record, beating Laramie 6-5. And they gave up a total of 10 runs against. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout for Bridger Karn for Dawson Getz. One down here in the bottom of the third, and it's now back to Brixton Steen, the top of the order. But Miles City ends up at 4-0. Laramie goes 0-4. And for Miles City, they need 8 runs to be scored in that Grand Junction Post 22 game to win the pool. As long as Post 22 doesn't, Post 22 right now has 14 runs. They can't score 11 or more, and they would win the pool. 2-0 pitch is over for strike, and the count's now 2-1. But if you're saying that if they still win the game by giving up 8 runs, well, it's 9, 10, or 11 runs that you're able to score. So I would say most likely post 22 will end up winning the pool. This will be a fly ball to left. Trevor Rounds took a few steps back and then came in to make the catch, and there's two quickly down here in the bottom of the third inning. As Steen is retired, and it's now Carter Brager. Brager singled home a run, made it a 4-3 game at the time. Here's the first pitch. That'll be a check swing. That'll be fouled over the first base dugout, and the count's 0-1. Wesco make that Huron beat Wesco 18-9. Huron finishes the pool at 1-3. Scottsbluff, Wesco, and Laramie, those two teams went 0-4. This will be popped up right side. Fair territory. Hudson Stosher going back. Second base will make the catch, and it is a 1-2-3 inning for Dawson Getz in the bottom of the third. We head to the fourth, 6-4. Post 8 still trailing Post 22 18U. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Summer is here, and Beck Motor Company is stepping up to the plate. As a proud supporter of Legion Baseball, we're hitting it out of the park with unbeatable deals on the Chevy and Cadillac vehicles. Whether you're looking for the power of a Chevy Silverado or the luxury of a Cadillac Escalade, Beck Motor Company has the perfect ride for you. So swing by today. Take your game and your drive to the next level. Beck Motor Company, your local Chevy and Cadillac dealer. Proud to support our youth and ready to put you behind the wheel of your dream vehicle. www.beck-motors.com, 605-224-5912.
Walking together in faith, living together in faith, working together in faith, that's who we are.
Hi, this is Pastor Sam Hanschke. I hope that our athletes have an excellent and successful season. I pray that God would continue to richly bless them. I invite you to join me in praying for our athletes during the year.
We're Faith Lutheran and we are glad you're here.
It is the top of the fourth inning, and Post 8 is down 6-4. The American Family Insurance, the Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. And they will have, here at the top of the fourth, 6, 7, and 8, Nolan Peterson, Bridger Babcock, and Trevor Rounds. You might reach his base to go to Hudson Stosher. And mention those final scores in the Post 22 pool. Post 320 pool, as Peterson will ground this over to the second base side. The field by Steen, the throw to first, one pitch and one out here in the top of the fourth. And it brings up Bridger Babcock. 4-3, Sheridan beat Gehring in Nebraska to go to 4-0 in the pool. Gehring goes 0-4, and they will be the 7 or 8 seed, depending on what Chadron, Nebraska does. But Sheridan at 4-0, allowing just 11 runs against, as the first pitch is over for strike one to Bridger Babcock. Post 320 has already given up 12 runs in those 3 games. And so the runs allowed, it is per innings, but those per innings will, it just basically it's runs allowed. It really, when all said and done, only 11 runs allowed, they will win the pool and be the top seed coming out of the Post 320 pool. So we're for strike two, it counts 1 and 2 here to Bridger Babcock. Sturgis and Alliance, Nebraska are playing right now. 1-2 pitch to Bridger Babcock. Inside outs it over to the third base side, and fielded by the third baseman Burris. Throw across the diamond is in time, and there's 2 down on 2 ground outs here at the top of the fourth. And it's now the number 8 hitter in Trevor Rounds, who had a sacrifice bunt in the top of the second inning. Alliance is beating Sturgis right now 11-2. Just 4 games remain, 2 on each side. This will be flown foul at a play on the right side by Rounds for strike one. And again, once this game is done, we'll have a little bit more of an idea of where Pierre might finish in the seed side of things. There's still a lot to look at for the Post 320 side of things, and then it kind of also determines on the travel of when we'll play. If we might end up playing Post 320 still. This will be flown out to right field. It'll be backing up as the right fielder to make the catch and Hassett, and it is a 1-2-3 inning. 5 straight retired now for Stapert as we head to the bottom of the fourth. It is a 6-2 lead for Post 22 18U over Pierre Post State. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Did you know it is important for your child to see the dentist at the time their first tooth erupt? A healthy smile begins at birth, and there are many variables, from healthy eating habits to good oral hygiene and routine dental care. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer. At Missouri River Dentistry, we enjoy working with people of all ages. Dentistry is our profession, but people are our focus. I invite families to come experience an office that uses the latest techniques and equipment to be sure you receive that healthy and happy smile. To schedule your appointments for your family, call us at 223-2021. Kids love us, parents trust us.
As South Dakota's oldest auto dealer, it's our 118th anniversary. Stop by and sign up for drawings, prizes, beef bucks. You save thousands with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram employee pricing, plus incentives for everyone. Buick GMC incentives up to $62.50. Plus, all of our new vehicles in stock are tariff-free. Check out our huge selection of used vehicles at our 118th anniversary on the windshields and at WagnerAuto.com. Wagner Auto, your one place to go for sales and service, 118 years in Pierre.
It is the bottom of the fourth and a 6-4 lead for Post 22 18U over Pierre Post State. 3, 4, and 5, Hadley Burris, Reagan Koskin, and Ben Hassett. The first three hitters as the first pitch from Dawson Getz will be upstairs for ball one. And this is the 18U team. We played the Hard Hats last night. That is the Legion team, the Senior Legion team. This 18U is not part of the Senior Legion. That one's over for a strike, and evens the count at a ball and a strike to Hadley Burris, who was hit by a pitch and an RBI ground out in his first two plate appearances. That will catch the outside corner for a strike, and the count's now 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That one just missing inside. Burris backed away from it, almost cut back in. So a 2-2 count here with nobody out. Leadoff man here in the bottom of the fourth. Popped up on the infield, just behind the into the outfield. Danberg will call off Hudson Stosher as he runs in from right field to make the catch on a long run. And there's one down here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Good talk by everybody. Bridger Babcock was backing up. Hudson Stosher called him off, so second baseman takes charge in that. He curls back in. Will Danberg comes in, he calls off Stosher, and Stosher gives way to him as the outfielder has the priority coming in instead of Stosher going back. As this will be off the end of the bat, that'll be bouncing in the left field for a base hit for Reagan Koskin. He is now 2 for 2 in the ball game, but on base all three times. Didn't get all of it, but got enough of it. Muscle it out in the left field, and it bounced one hopper to Rounds. And the first hit allowed by Dawson Getz, or second hit allowed by Dawson Getz. As there's a man on first with one away, and the first pitch to Ben Hassett misses for ball one. Again, fundamental baseball that you know who has the authority to call off who. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Although, yes, sometimes that does change. If you're the pitcher, you are called off by everybody, but we've seen, especially in high school baseball, Legion baseball, that the pitcher does have a little bit of pull on, I'm going to make the catch on a pitch, on a fly ball that is at the, right at the mound. He'll call everybody off, mostly because once you start to get higher level, you're not playing the outfield and coming into pitch, you're just pitching. So most coaches, and Blake Dean, USF coach back in the day when Blake Dean was playing baseball for him, said that he wished that there was a trap door after the pitcher threw the ball for him to fall into, so he could not be a part of the play at all. Counts 3-1 here to Ben Hassett. 3-1, runner takes off. It is taken high for ball 4, and it will be a one-out walk, so it's first and second now with one away. And it's now Turnquist to the plate. First walk issued by Getz, who had retired 5 straight before the single and a walk. Turnquist had an RBI bases loaded walk that tied the game at 4-4. Back at the bottom of the second, first pitch is over for strike one. I believe Brody Lee is warming up out in the left field bullpen. Here's the 0-1 from Getz. After a long look, he'll deliver the 0-1. That'll be fouled off the mask, I believe, of Nolan Peterson, who says he's okay. Quickly gets the baseball from the umpire. So the count goes to 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Curveball misses inside. And it's now a 1-2 count. Getz will come set from the stretch, deliver the 1-2 pitch. That one taken for strike 3 on the outside corner. The big strikeout there for Getz is second to make that third of the game. 2 down here in the fourth, and it's now the catcher Easton Tesh at a 2 RBI double, and the first man that Getz faced coming into the game. He doubled off of him down the right field line to score 2 runs. That gave Post 22 a 6-4 lead where it stands right now. First pitch is upstairs above the head of Tesh for ball 1. One out single by Koskin. A walk to Hassett. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Now to Tesh. That one comes inside, stays above the zone, and the count's 2-0. Here's the 2-0 now from Getz. Runner takes off for third. The pitch is low. There will be no throw anywhere. And it's a stolen base, a double steal, and a 3-0 count. Now to Tesh. Paxton Fisher, who struck out looking to end the second inning, is waiting on deck. A 3-0 from the windup for Getz. He slows the speed down, but it still misses for ball 4. And the bases are now loaded here with 2 away. And we will have a courtesy runner as Eschmeyer will come in to run again for Tesh. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the fourth. Paxton Fisher walked in the second and struck out looking to end the second inning. First pitch will be upstairs for ball 1. 5 straight misses here for Dawson Getz. You got to find the strike zone, nowhere to put Fisher. Trying to keep this a 6-4 deficit to hit the halfway point of the ball game. 1-0 pitch will hit him. And it will be an RBI for Fisher, and it's now a 7-4 ball game. Bases remain loaded, and Bridger Karn now to the plate. Karn walked in the second, led off the third with a strikeout. And the number 9 man looking for an opportunity. As this will get away to the backstop and coming in to score to make it a now 8-4 lead on a wild pitch. And still second and third, and the wheels haven't really fallen off yet for Post 8, but those 2 runs kind of hurt here about halfway point of the ball game. 4-run lead now for the 18U team. That'll miss low, and the count's 2-0. Alliance Nebraska beats Sturgis 11-2, so Alliance finishes at 3-1 as Sturgis moves to 1-2. They will play Cody, Wyoming. As it's now a 3-0 count. .3-0 pitch is over for a strike, and the count's now 3-1. So Lions finishes at 3-1. They cannot be the number 1 seed. Sheridan is that number 1 seed. That's fouled away, and the count's now full at 3-2. The only way that they can be the number 2 seed now would be as if Post 22 gives up about 8 runs and loses to Shadron. 3-2. Ground ball on the left side. That one's past Parker O'Brien for a base hit. Runner will come in to score, bobbled by Rounds. The throw will come to the plate. They set the runner late. The tag applied by Peterson. He is out at the plate to end the inning. Makes it a 9-4 game. A little bit of bobble by Rounds turns into the third out. But another run comes in to score. A 3-run inning on the RBI single for Bridger Karn. But it sends us to the 5th with a 9-4 advantage for Post 18U. Back in a minute, you're listening to Post 8 Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Wahi Federal Credit Union member? At Wahi Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Wahi Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Hawaii Federal Credit Union.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
Top of the 5th inning. A 9-4 lead now for Post 22-18U. As it'll be 9-1-2. Hudson Stosher, Will Danberg, and Parker O'Brien. The first 3 hitters here for Post 8. Ground ball on the first pitch over the shortstop, fielded by Turnquist. His throw to first. 1 pitch and 1 out to open up the top of the 5th inning. And after Dawson gets leadoff single in the 3rd inning, it has been 7 straight retired, or to make that 6 straight retired. Getz was thrown out trying to steal as well. So it's now Will Danberg, who is 0 for 0 so far. First pitch is over for strike 1. He was hit by a pitch in the first and a sac fly RBI in the second, which at that point made it a 4-0 lead for the Eights. This will be flown out to right field. Long run, actually not too much of a long run. Getting underneath it is the right fielder and Hassett to easily make the catch. And there's now 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning, and it's Parker O'Brien. Stapert has found his groove after that 2nd inning. 2 productive outs for the Eights in that second that helped score 2 runs. First pitch is over for strike 1 to O'Brien. Gave up 2 hits in the first inning, another hit in the second, and 1 more in the third, but that hit was the last time there's been a base runner for the Eights, and again, Getz was thrown out trying to steal second. Counts 1-1 here to O'Brien, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Time will be called here by O'Brien, maybe slowing things down of Stapert. Brody Lee had warmed up in the left field bullpen. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Here's a ground ball back over to Turnquist. He will field as a 1-2-3 inning for Stapert, who is now retired 8 in a row. We head to the bottom of the 5th. 9-4 lead for Post 22 over Pierre. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakotasprinkler.com today.
Hey you.
Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
We head to the 5th inning, bottom of the 5th, and a 9-4 lead for Post 22 18U. Top of the order, Brixton Steen will lead things off against Dawson Getz. A 5-run advantage. Steen will show bunt, drop it down the third base line. It will roll foul. Good play there by Parker O'Brien to let that thing roll. As he saw it hooking a little bit, slicing, I guess, a little bit, rolling down the third base line, and as he got up to it, that one last bounce, pulled his glove up, let it roll foul, and ends up being a strike instead of what probably would have been an infield single on the bunt, or a bunt single for Brixton Steen. 0-1 pitch, almost swung. No, it hit him. And Nolan Peterson was asking why is he going to first base, or maybe asking to maybe check to see if he swung, but it is a hit batter. And it's Carter Brager. Now will be to the plate. So the leadoff man on base, and do mention that there is an 8-run rule after 5 innings. Not like the 10-run rule that you have, and that would have been in place last night in the game against Post 22. As the first pitch misses for ball 1. But the tournament has 12 or a 15-run rule after 4 and 8 after 5. Here's a ground ball to the second baseman, fielded by Stosher. Throw to second for 1, back to first. Babcock stays in the bag, and that is a 4-6-3 double play to get the 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That takes away that leadoff hit by a pitch. 2 down now here in the bottom of the 5th. Beautiful double play turn from Stosher to Shufflebein to Babcock, and Bridger Babcock keeping his foot on the bag as well. As the first pitch will miss upstairs for ball 1 to the number 3 man, Hadley Burris. 1-0 pitch. There's a ground ball. O'Brien over at third. That'll get underneath him. Shufflebein will field behind him, and no play. It'll be the first error charged to either side. And it's a runner on first here with 2 away. And it brings up Reagan Koskin. They put it as a hit on the scoreboard, but that is going to be an error charge to O'Brien. Runner takes off, taking for a strike. The throw to second is over the top of the second baseman, Stosher, but Shufflebein backing it up. Does not allow that ball to get into center field, so a stolen base for Burris. He's in scoring position. The count 0-1 now here to Koskin. A 1 pitch. That'll be a check swing foul. Makes it an 0-2 count. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. A double play turn by the Eights. Give them an opportunity to keep this a scoreless 5th inning. Time called here by Koskin. He digs back in. 0-2 count with 2 outs. Getz will come set from the stretch and deliver. Swinging a foul. Getz slipped off the mound. It will still deliver the strike, and just getting a piece of it was Koskin to stay alive. Again, tomorrow, Post 8 will play the counterpart of the Post 320 pool. Could be here at the Fitz, could be over at Pete Lean. At this point, could be any time of the day. Wait to kind of see, and maybe after the game was over with, maybe have an idea of potentially when they could play. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Reaching for it, lifting it to left field. On the run is Rounds. He will make the catch and retire the side. here in the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, an error, and one man left on base. We head to the top of the 6th, a 9-4 lead for the Post 22 18U squad. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Larry Fry Heating and Cooling has a new name. Kruger Climate Systems has acquired Larry Fry Heating and Cooling, but it's still the same great service. Your friend Larry Fry is still a manager, and his dedication to providing you with outstanding service remains unwavering. The same quality products and services you have come to expect from Larry Fry Heating and Cooling will continue under the new leadership of Kruger Climate Systems. You can still reach us at 605-224-9548 or email us at ryan@krugercontracting.com. Kruger Climate Systems, your certified Trane and Mitsubishi dealer in Central South Dakota.
Step up to the plate with Kathy Sunshine Properties in Pierre, your go-to for buying, selling, and finding your perfect home. Whether you're looking for a cozy cottage or a spacious family home, Kathy Sunshine Properties has you covered. We're committed to helping you make your next big move, on the field or in your life. Ready to find your dream home? Call Kathy Sunshine Properties at 605-224-5588. Your home run in real estate.
Top of the 6th inning, and Post 8 is down 9-4 with American Family Insurance. Brittany Shuffleby scoreboard to the Post 22 18U team, and Brody Lee is now on the mound for the Post 22 18U squad. And for Lee, he has thrown 14 and a third innings. This will be his 6th appearance, 5th relief appearance in those 14 and a third innings. 0-1 record, 11 hits, 12 runs, 7 of those earned. He has given up 9 walks, 14 strikeouts, an ERA at 3.42 and a whip at 1.40 for Brody Lee, as he will deal with 3, 4, and 5. Dawson Getz, followed by Porter Hunsley and Carter Shufflebine. So excellent work from Stapert, who really settled in and went those 5 innings on the mound, as we get a total on him. 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. First pitch swinging by Getz. He'll chop that one foul on the third base side. And the count is 0-1. Lee was hurt at the end of, or I guess the middle of March in the state championship hockey game. He was unable to continue in that game as the goalie, as this will be flown out towards right field. Long run coming in. That'll drop in for a base hit. And Dawson gets his 2 for 3 in the game. He was slew-footed. Was the penalty called that ended up hurting him and making him leave the game, and was still able to, with crutches, celebrate with his team winning the state championship for the Rushmore Thunder, which was the first one since 2018 when they won, but was unable to play in the national tournament, but is back able to be throwing now, as it counts 0-1. That's Brady Lee, excuse me, not Brody Lee. That's the pitcher. We can talk about Brody Lee a little bit, but Brady Lee is the pitcher. Brody, well, actually, no, it is Brody Lee. They have Brady Lee and Brody Lee listed as number 99. Thought that's awfully similar to both those guys. As it counts 1-1 here to Porter Hunsley. It'll be upstairs, and the count's now 2-1. Hunsley is 1 for 2. He had an RBI single in the first inning, an infield single, then grounded out to the second baseman, Steen. 2-1 pitch. That'll miss low, and the count's now 3-1. Seen a lot of the Rushmore Thunder guys play in these 2 games. Wyatt Reeder yesterday for the Hard Hats. Let's see, Brody Lee, Brixton Steen in this ball game. 3-1 pitch. Hunsley fans on it, and the count's now 3-2. In 3-1 count, looking for something good, and I think he was fooled on what would have been a fastball, ends up being a changeup. And so now a full count, probably was strike 2 anyway, but Still at the full count here with nobody out. Dawson Getz not running. He'll take it low for ball 4, and Hunsley will draw the walk. And it's first and second here with nobody out. And now it's Carter Shufflebine, who is 0 for 1 so far in the game. He grounded back to the pitcher in his lone at bat. First and second. Nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. First pitch to Shufflebine. That'll be upstairs for ball 1. J.J. Buchholz in this spot as a DH. Again, was removed when Getz went to the mound, and Shufflebine came into the game as in place of Getz at short after Hudson Schaefer went an inning and 2/3. Buchholz was 1 for 1 with an RBI single that made it a 2-0 game at the time. This will be chopped over, and what a play by Coach Iverson over there, leaping to make the grab. And the count's now 1-1. Coach Iverson's, he plays for Four Corners. He's still got the athletic ability in him. That was even with the right hand. That was the bare hand. Obviously, it's going to be bare hand no matter what, but that's the throwing hand that he fielded that with. Shufflebine can't hold back, and the count's now 1-2. Gets at second. Hunsley over at first. Lee will look for the sign to go through again. And he'll come set and deliver the 1-2 pitch to Shufflebine from the stretch. That'll hit him right in the back. It was right above the butt from Shufflebine. Bases are now loaded here with nobody out. And Post State has got a big opportunity to cut into this 5-run deficit right now, as Nolan Peterson, who is 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts to the second baseman, has a chance to really put a dent into this lead with nobody out here in the top of the 6th. You're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. We're just past 5 o'clock Central Time. It was a 4-0 lead after the top of the 2nd for Post State. But Post 22, 18U, has scored the last 9 runs, 6 in the 2nd and 3 in the 4th, to take a 9-4 lead as we stand here in the 6th inning. Here's the first pitch to Nolan Peterson. At the letters for strike 1. Peterson again 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts to the second baseman. A 1 pitch. That's over for a strike on the corner, to the chagrin of the Post State faithful here at the Fitz. 0-2 counts with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The base is loaded. 0-2 to Peterson. That will bounce in. Good take there from Peterson. Good pitch from Lee. Was blocked up by Tesh, and really think about where that could be. It's not a bad spot to try and get Peterson to chase down 0-2. Here's the 1-2. This will be popped up, foul territory. The first baseman will call for it to make the catch just out of the camera shot, as Fisher will put away the first out. It was in foul territory, so there was no infield fly rule. But there's now 1 down, and it brings up Bridger Babcock. The A's have got to find a way to score here. I know there's just 1 out, but the base is loaded with nobody out, and you're down by 5. You have to put up a crooked number in this inning. Put yourself in the best spot going into the top of the 7th. Give Dawson Getz a chance to get a 0 to maybe make it a 2 or 1 run game. They'll try and pick off at first, and almost was overthrown because Shufflebine got back to first base, and the throw from Lee was just about to hit Shufflebine over at first, and Fisher, it bounced off, it went off of his glove and stayed next to him. Otherwise, that would have scored at least a run. Depending on where that would have bounced, it could have scored 2. Trying to backpick it first with the bases loaded. Here's the first pitch now to Bridger Babcock. That is taken for a strike, and that one had to catch the very, very bottom of that strike zone. Guess leads away from third. Hunsley at second, Shufflebine at first. That'll be high and outside, and evens the count of the ball and a strike. Wind is blowing out to right field. Here's a 1-1 pitch. There's a swing and a miss and a pitch to the turf, and the count's now 1-2. Base hit makes this at least a 4-run ball game. Potentially could drive in two with the speed of Hunsley at second. 1-2 pitch. That is upstairs. Good take there from Babcock. That's a close pitch. It's a good spot for Lee. But it stayed upstairs. Counts 2-2. There is activity on the left field bullpen for the 22-18U squad. Here's the 2-2. That'll bounce in. Good take again there by Babcock. Good block by Tesh. Count is full, and base hitter ball 4 will drive in a run. Time will be called, and Lee will relace the right shoe. It's going to, not the normal baseball cleats with the all-turf field. Probably a little bit more of football cleats. Three-two pitch here from Lee to Babcock with the bases loaded and 1 out. He'll step off and we'll reset again. This could be the ball game right here. Obviously, the Eights have got to find a way to score 5 runs over the next 4 outs at least. But this is a big spot with the bases loaded and a full count pitch from Lee. And again, they were looking at maybe a back pick at first base. Shufflebine got back to the bag. They didn't step off to throw to first. And so Lee stepped off another time. He's had a lot of time to think about this 3-2 pitch. So has Bridger Babcock. The 3-2 from Lee. Fouled away. Good job by Babcock to stay alive. Spoiled that 3-2 pitch at the top of the zone. And we'll do it again here. Trevor Rounds waiting on deck. Number 8 man the batting order, then Hudson Stosher would follow. Here's the 3-2 again from Lee. That'll hit Babcock and it will bring in a run to make it a 9-5 game. And so now the tying run is at the plate for Trevor Rounds. Babcock remains 0 for 1, but he was walked and now hits, and he does have an RBI. And Lee will not be able to make it through this first inning of relief. Make that the first inning of relief for Brody Lee. That will bring in a new man, and that will take us to a commercial break. We'll come back in a minute. You're listening to Post-Day Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
AGE Corporation has been building South Dakota for over 60 years. For all your site work, construction, and crane needs, AGE is there for you. If you need a boat dock and dock lighting, AGE has what you need. Visit their website, agecorp.com, or give them a call at 223-2732. AGE Corporation, providing high-quality services without sacrificing safety. Visit agecorp.com or call 223-2732.
As community bankers, BankWest employees are deeply committed to supporting local causes, growing the local economy, and creating local opportunities. At a time when you can bank anywhere, we hope you choose BankWest. We'll be your financial partner for the long haul, helping you and your community achieve financial success. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
So Carter Brager is now on the pitch for Post 22. as it will be the bases loaded in a 9-5 game. And so there is no change to the batting order, although the DH is now gone, and it's a straight 9 men on the field and 9 men in the batting order. And so Brody Lee, you can't close the book on him, does go just a third of an inning in relief, he gave up just that one hit. He faced just 5 guys at the plate with 1 walk and 2 hit batters, no strikeouts, but he is responsible for all 3 of those runners that are on base. College baseball scores so far, there are 4 games that are completed. It is a 1-1 series tie now. Miami beat Louisville 9-6. Arizona beat North Carolina 10-8 to make it a 1-1 series. Duke took the first game over Murray State 7-4, and LSU took the first game over West Virginia at 16-9. Coastal Carolina, who leads Auburn in that series 1-0, they lead 4-1 at the top of the 9th. They're 2 outs away from advancing, and Arkansas has a 1-0 lead over Tennessee in that other game. There's 2 other games to be played tonight: UCLA and UTSA, and Florida State, Oregon State. We'll have College World Series coverage, men's College World Series coverage coming up next weekend. Here's the first pitch to Trevor Rounds. That is outside for ball 1. So Brager now on the mound. And Brager has not thrown yet this year. Luke Hanslick is thrown in that as the number 1 man according to Game Changer. But Brager has not thrown. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's now a 1-1 count. Rounds sacrifice bunt in the second, then flew out to right in the 4th. If he flies to right again, that would make this a 3-run game. With Hunsley over at third, Shufflebein at second, and Bridger Babcock at first. Hudson Stocher had a RBI ground rule double, is waiting on deck. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a curveball. Rounds was wanting it, but couldn't stay back enough. Count goes now 1-2. And do you stay with the off speed? Brager will get the sign. He'll come set from the stretch and deliver the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Rounds swinging out of his shoes. Couldn't come away with the contact. And there's now 2 down and a big strikeout for Brager and his first batter, and now it's Hudson Stocher. 2 outs on contact for everybody on base. So barring a ground rule double, if Stocher does what he did in his first at-bat, he could drive in all 3 runs. That could make this a 1-run ball game, make things very interesting going into the last inning and a half. An off-speed pitch that's at the top of the zone for strike 1. Stocher 1 for 2, that ground rule double RBI in the second. Ground out to the shortstop in the 5th. Brager takes over for Brody Lee, who gave up that 1 run, but responsible for the 3 guys that are on base in his 3rd of an inning. Ground ball over to Coach Iverson. He'll make the play, and there's now an 0-2 count with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Hunsley at third, Shufflebein at second, Babcock at first. Top of the order is up next. Stocher trying to keep the inning alive, scoring a run and passing it along the top of the order. The 0-2. Ground ball to the third baseman, but staying down on it and making the play is Burris, and that will retire the side here in the top of the 6th. 1 run does score on 1 hit in the inning. There are no errors and 3 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th, 9-5. It is Post 22, 18U over Pierre. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Are you a farmer in the Highmore area? Do you need a trusted partner for your grain and agronomy needs? Look no further than AgTegra. AgTegra is built on a legacy of farmer-owned cooperatives, providing superior service and relentless innovation for generations. We're committed to your success and the safety of our employees and members. For your grain needs, call Chance Scott at 605-846-1099. And for all your agronomy needs, reach out to Cole Hamlin at 605-871-9572. AgTegra, growing together for generations.
Hello, I'm Pastor Jeff Lathrop of Pierre First United Methodist Church, and I'd like to invite you to join us in person for worship on Sunday mornings at 8:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. You can also join us on Facebook Live or on KCCR 1240 a.m. or 98.9 FM for our Sunday morning broadcast at 11 a.m. Come worship with us at First United Methodist Church, where you will find open hearts, open minds, and open doors.
It is the bottom of the sixth. It's 9-5 in the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. It is going to be 5, 6, and 7 here for Dawson Guest to try and keep this a 4-run deficit going into the 7th inning, where the Eights will have the top of the order. They got just that 1 run back as the first pitch is popped up into shallow center field. Carter Shufflebine will call off the center fielder Porter Hunsley, and the shortstop makes the catch. First pitch and an out here in the bottom of the sixth. And now it's going to be Turnquist, the shortstop, who is 0 for 2 with an RBI walk. Oh, instead it will be a new man to the plates. And it will be number 53, Jackson Reeder. First pitch, dropped down a bunt, picked up by Peterson. The throw not going to be in time. It'll be an infield bunt single for Jackson Reeder, who wasted 0 time finding that first pitch to get down for a bunt single, and 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the bottom of the 6th inning. So now here, Easton Tesh, the catcher. Again, Reeder is hitting in place of the shortstop Turnquist, who went 0 for 2 with an RBI walk. Tesh is 1 for 1, 2 walks, and an RBI double that gave the 6-4 lead to post 22-18U. And then they had scored 9 straight runs overall before the Eights got that run back in the top of the 6th inning. Pickoff attempt, and gets more or less lobbed it over to first base, and easily back in is Jackson Reeder. I would say might have the green light to try and steal here early on in the pitch. He will go on the first pitch, taking for a strike, throw to second. The tag, he's safe at second. Stosher thought he maybe had him. It was taken for strike 1. Throw was just a little bit to the far right of Stosher on the second base bag, but it got there nearly in time. Maybe just a little bit too wide. The difference between a caught stealing and a stolen base for Jackson Reeder as it counts 0-2. Now to Easton Tesh. Paxton Fisher is on deck. 0-2 pitch here from Getz. Time is called. Getz will throw the ball anyway. And the count remains at 0-2. The old Bob Gibson era. If you called time on Bob Gibson and he was starting to throw the baseball, sometimes maybe if he wasn't even, he was close to starting to throw. 0-2 pitch is taken for strike 3. Tesh turned like it was close to hitting him, but it's taken for strike 3, and there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th, and it brings up Paxton Fisher. But Gibson was going to throw the baseball, and he wasn't throwing it down the middle. He was throwing it up near your helmet. He was going to throw it at you for calling time. First pitch is fouled back by Fisher as he checked his swing and got a piece of it. I don't think there's anybody. Everybody can say they're very competitive and they can say they might be the most competitive person. But I don't think there's anybody that could compete on the competitive level of what Bob Gibson was. This will be popped up on the right side. Will Danberg near the line will have a play on it. He'll make the catch, retire the side, and send us to the 7th. 9-5, post 22, 18U leads post 8. The 8s need 4 runs in the top of the 7th inning. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When you're in town for the big game, why not stay where the view is just as great as the action? American in Fort Pierre sits right on the river, offering beautiful scenery, relaxing comfort, and easy access to the ballpark. After a day at the Diamond, there's nothing better than unwinding by the water, and the American always hits it out of the park. Stay by the river. Stay in comfort. Call 605-223-2358 to book your room today. American, where the river meets relaxation. Step up to the plate with Overhead Door Company of Pierre. Like your favorite team, we deliver reliability, strength, and top-notch performance. For over 100 years, Overhead Door has been the most respected name in the industry. From commercial or residential repairs to full upgrades, our team of technicians stand ready to provide winning results. Don't let a faulty garage door strike you out. Look for the signature red ribbon and call the industry MVP at 605-224-6200. Bring your garage door game to the big leagues.
Top of the 7th, last chance here for the 8s, as Carter Brager will try and close out the ball game. And it will be Will Danberg, Parker O'Brien, Dawson Getz, top of the order. Great time to score at least 4 runs. Up at a 5 spot here at the top of the 7th. Give the 8s a chance to go 3-1 here in the pool. And again, if they go 2-2, that opens the door for a lot of possibilities. They won't be one of the top 4 seeds, but could be the number 5 seed. Because they still could be the number 6 seed. Because it'll be Miles City post 22 and post 22 18U, excuse me. So they won't be one of the top 3 seeds for sure. They could still be the 4 seed or the 5 seed. As the first pitch is over for strike 1. I guess there is an outside possibility. Actually, I don't think there will be. There's an outside possibility of maybe even being the 6th seed. That'll be upstairs, and it counts 1-1. Because we do know that Laramie is the 7 seed, Wesco the 8 seed. Huron would be the 6th seed at worst. It could be up to the 5 seed, but most likely at this point will not be the 5 seed. It'll be a check swing by Danberg. They would have to have Grand Junction lose both games and be outscored by quite a bit, as they give up 30 runs. So Grand Junction is only giving up 5, would have to give up 26 runs. There'll be 13 runs in the next 2 games to both these post 22 teams. 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss by Danberg, and the count's 2-2. Danberg is 0 for 1 now. Hit by a pitch in the first, came in to score, then had a sac fly RBI in the second. His only official at bat, he flew out to his counterpart and Ben Hassett in right field. 2-2 pitch, got a piece of it, fouls it away, stays alive at 2-2. And you're looking at Danberg being a starter on Wednesday against Spearfish, because you'll go play Spearfish on the road, then to Dickinson for 4 games against North Dakota, Montana teams, no in-state opponents. Be next week, Tuesday, the following Tuesday on June 17th when you host Sturgis. So you can have him available for all those games against South Dakota teams. There's a swing and a miss by Danberg, and the first out here at the top of the 7th. And it will bring up Parker O'Brien, who is 0 for 3. Have to check on that Renner game. I believe that's the 18U Renner team, so that would not count in the South Dakota standings when they travel on the Thursday. Then they go take on Harrisburg Gold and the Harrisburg Legion team on 6/22 on that Sunday on June 22nd. Here's the first pitch. Swing and a miss by O'Brien out in front of the off-speed pitch. They will travel to Sturgis, host Box Elder at Sioux Falls West, travel to Aberdeen, host 320 at Watertown, and then we'll have a triangular with Jamestown, Detroit Lakes. O'Brien will get a hold of that one out towards center field. It will bounce in for a base hit and a one-out single for Parker O'Brien. He's 1 for 4. And now Dawson Getz to the plate. Getz is 2 for 3, 2 singles so far in this game. So still 20 games remaining on the South Dakota schedule for Post State, who is 1 3 so far in South Dakota games. Make that 1 4 in South Dakota games. First pitch will miss low for ball 1. As they split with East and then lost the one South Dakota game they had this weekend against Post 22. Still 1 out here in the top of the 7th. A lot of time here for the Eights. And they're running out of time, but can still make this a big inning. It's 3, 4, and 5 right now here for Post State. Counts 2-0 here to Dawson Getz. Brager comes set from the stretch. Here is the 2-0 pitch. That'll be a throw back to first. It missed inside, I believe, and the count's 3-0. So a 3-0 count, and Brager will get a new baseball. Dawson Getz will most likely be taking all the way, especially down by 4 here in the top of the 7th inning. See if the A's can create a rally here. After that 6th spot is the difference in this game. 6 runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Pickoff attempts. And diving back in safely is O'Brien over at first base. Would not think that O'Brien will be taking off in a 3-0 count. Because even if the ball gets away, he'll walk his way to second. 3-0 pitch will miss outside. It is a 4-pitch walk, and it's first and second with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. And so now it's Porter Hunsley. And we'll have a pitching change here with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. So we'll see if the new man can finish out the ball game for Post 22 18U. 9-5 our score here in the top of the 7th. First and second with 1 out. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post State Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Is your roof ready for the next South Dakota storm? Don't wait till it's too late. For over 25 years, Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction has been serving Central South Dakota with quality roofing and construction. He has now added gutters. We offer dependable service, guaranteed workmanship, and no unnecessary flash or fuss. Just reliable protection for your home. Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction. Experience you can trust. Call today, 605-280-8133. Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, serving Central South Dakota for over 25 years. Look, it's no secret that owning a vehicle can cause a lot of stress, and they get a lot of wear and tear on them through the extreme seasons we've grown to love. Graham Tire wants you to know that you can trust them with any problem that you have with your vehicle. Their ASE certified mechanics can make your AC cool again, or even just change your oil. They can look into and fix those noises that seem to come from nowhere and have you stressed out. Bring your car to Graham Tire so they can put your mind at ease. Graham Tire, your tire store next door.
It is the top of the 7th, and it will now be the man on the mound for Reagan Koskin as he comes in from left field. Brager will go out to left field. Brixton Steen went racing down to the bullpen to start warming up in the bullpen as maybe a next guy. So they have 3 infielders right now. Steen will come out of the bullpen here in just a moment as there's only maybe 1 more pitch remaining here for Reagan Koskin. It'll be the 4th pitcher used. Can't close the book yet. on Brager, but he does throw 1 inning in relief. He did not allow it. He allowed just 1 hit. So far, he hasn't allowed a run, but he's responsible for the 2 guys on base. 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Brody Lee's official line score is a third of an inning with a hit, a run, and a walk. He threw 23 pitches. Staper threw 80. Lee threw 23, and only 19 for Brager. And Steen will charge out of the bullpen from left field, not to be into the game to throw, but to get back to second base after he got a couple of tosses out there in the left field bullpen. Was it Heath Bell that would run like crazy? I don't know if John Rocker would run in. Obviously, Steen's just going back to second base, but a couple guys that just charge in from the bullpen. They don't have the Edwin Diaz type of trot. Here's the first pitch to Porter Hunsley, missing for ball 1. As for Reagan Koskin, he has not thrown yet on the season, according to Game Changer. So his first opportunity to throw. He's dealing with first and second with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. Hunsley will sky this one up. Shallow left center field. Coming in will be the center fielder to make the catch in Karn, and there's now 2 down. And it's up to Carter Shufflebind to start this 2-out rally here for Post 8, with the tying run still waiting on deck in a 4-run ball game. Shufflebind's 0 for 1, went grounded back to the pitcher in his first at-bat, then hit by a pitch that loaded the bases with nobody out in the 5th inning, or make that the 6th inning. And it was a bases loaded hit by a pitch from Bridger Babcock that scored the only run of that inning. And the bases loaded with nobody out and got 1 run in the 6th. This will be a wild pitch that will get to the backstop. Both runners will move up. Counts 1-0 here to Shufflebine. Base hit would make this a 2-run ball game. But for Koskin, he doesn't have to worry about those runs scoring. They don't mean much. Maybe they mean a little bit more in the grand scheme of trying to be 4-0 and trying to keep this opportunity to win the pool. But overall, they don't mean much in trying to win the baseball game. This will be coming up high towards the head of Shufflebine. He'll duck out of the way. The count's now 2-0. Miles City gave up a total of 10 runs against. Post 22-18, you have given up just 7 runs so far. There's a swing and a miss by Shufflebine. So these 2 runs would still allow Post 22-18U to finish ahead of Miles City if those 2 runs score, and they would shut out the Grand Junction team. Still have an opportunity to win the pool. 2-1 pitch, that is ripped foul, and Post 8 now down to their final strike here in their final pool play game of the weekend. Again, they will play tomorrow, but we'll have to wait on more game results. Regardless if Post 8 comes back and wins, we'll have to wait on other game results to know where Post 8 will be play or win, and I guess where too they will be playing on Sunday, because it could be over at Pete Lean, it could be here at the Fitz again. 2-2 pitch to Shufflebine. That'll miss for ball 3. On deck, the tying run. Nolan Peterson wants a crack at it. Everybody's got to reach base. Shufflebine's got to get on. Peterson has to reach and come around to score for Post 8 to keep this ball game alive. 3-2 pitch. Line shot. That is a base hit. 1 run will come in to score. They'll hold that second run up. It's first and third. An RBI single for Shufflebine makes it 9-6, and the tying run will come to the plate here in the top of the 7th inning. So the RBI single, second RBI hits for Shufflebine this weekend. Third RBI in total for Shufflebine. And now Nolan Peterson, who had an RBI last night, 0 for 3 in this game, but somewhere in the gap makes things really interesting. First pitch nearly hits him inside for ball 1. Bridger Babcock has to come to the plate as well here in the 7th inning. Whether that ends up being with the game tied with one swing of the bat by Peterson. Or he has a chance to maybe tie the game up himself with a base hit, or possibly give the A's the lead. 1-0 pitch, again, almost hits Peterson. The count's now 2-0. He represents a tying run, needing to get on base here in the top of the 7th inning. Pickoff attempts, a high throw. They're really worried about that runner over at first base. And again, if he scores, it makes it a one-run ball game, and his run doesn't really matter other than, again, what you want to do in pool play. 2-0 pitch is inside, and the count's now 3-0. And again, if you're worried about the runner over at first, but 2 outs in the 7th inning, now you haven't thrown a strike to Peterson. Shufflebine is not the tying run. Peterson is the tying run. Another pickoff attempt, and Shufflebine will dive back in safely. A little bit of frustrating yells from the post-22 18U crowd. And it will be a 4-pitch walk, and the bases are now loaded. So after several pickoff attempts, Koskin does not throw a strike to Peterson, and the tying run is now on base with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And it's Bridger Babcock now to the plate. Can he extend the game to Trevor Rounds? A walk and hit by pitch. Last time he was hit by a pitch, it was with the bases loaded. First pitch is outside for ball 1. That's 5 straight misses here for Koskin. Getz is at third, Shufflebine at second, and the most important guy right now on the base path is Peterson at first. 1-0 pitch is upstairs, is now a 2-0 count, and running out from the third base side is Codwell, and he will take the ball from Koskin, and they will triangular switch around, and Brixton Steen will come in to pitch with a 2-0 count, and the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. So we will take another break, come back with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Back in a minute. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on KCCR and watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Since the day First Fidelity Bank first opened its doors for business in 1905, we've served the credit and investment needs of this area. The money that's deposited with us is reinvested locally in the form of loans to area families, farms, and small businesses, where it can help create new opportunities for everyone in our community. First Fidelity Bank, first-class banking on a first-name basis. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Online at ffb-sd.com.
Want technology solutions you can trust from a neighbor you know? Comtech, locally owned and serving Pierre and surrounding areas since 2009, is dedicated to keeping your home, farm, and business connected and secure. We offer a full range of services, from audio and video, security, surveillance, and networking, with expert installation and support. Visit our storefront, call us at 605-224-4066, or visit our website, comtechplus.com, to experience the Comtech difference. Comtech, your local technology experts.
So they will move things around, and there are 3 guys on base that are responsible by 2 different pitchers right now. The left fielder is now Koskin, who moves back out there. Brager moves over to second, and Brixton Steen is now on the pitch to try and get the final outs of this game with a tying run over at first base, but he's got a 2-0 count. Brixton Steen has thrown 5 2/3 innings in 2 relief appearances, with a win of 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, a 1.23 ERA, and a 1.41 whip. And Bridger Babcock ahead in the count, 2-0. First pitch from Brixton Steen will miss for ball 3. And now a 3-0 count. And again, Nolan Peterson represents the tying run over at first base. He could go into scoring position if Bridger Babcock is able to draw the walk. 3-0 pitch. 2 misses from Steen, and now it's a 9-7 ball game as Dawson Getz will come in to score, and a base hit could tie the ball game up now. RBI, bases loaded walk for Babcock, second RBI. And he didn't have to put the ball in play either time he got the RBI. And it's Trevor Rounds who is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. A base hit ties the game up. Peterson now at second, the tying run. First pitch, that one will catch the zone. That one, the crowd for 18U, the applause, but a little bit of some uneasiness from the post-8 side. 0-1 here from Steen. Swing and miss on the curveball. The count's now 0-2. And we'll see if Steen stays with the curveball to try and get Rounds to retire and finish out the ball game. Brager officially gives up 2 runs. Koskin's still responsible for the 2 guys on base right now. Of the 3 that are on base, Steen, the 0-2 pitch. Another curveball, good take there. Ball will get to the side of the catcher, Tesh. And again, that runner for Shufflebine, I know that if he scores, Peterson gets to third base, you're 90 feet away, but you can't get that last out at home trying to force anything. Got to let Rounds to try and get a base hit or draw a walk to bring in another run. Well, they stay with the curveball again. 1-2 pitch. Taken for strike 3. Rounds was expecting the curveball and got the fastball, and that will end the ball game. A 9-7 win for post 18U or post 22 18U as the 8s draw within 2 but unable to get the win or get the tying run in. Back in 2 minutes to wrap it up as post 22 18U beats post 8 9-7. Back in 2 minutes on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Hey, yo, Speedo's Lawn Care.
Hello. Say, my yard's in rough shape. It's got weeds, brown spots, and crabgrass.
Yeah, no problemo. What shade of green you need? We got 31 shades of green over here. Even the latest shade of septic tank grass green. That one just naturally gives off a glow.
Call the professionals at True Green. They know how to get your lawn healthy and keep it healthy. They guarantee it. All technicians are trained and certified.
Call True Green, 224-1916.
When you're looking for quality trash pickup services, look no further than Envirotech. 6 days a week, their trucks are on the road picking up trash, even holidays. They're also the place to contact for recycling services. Their friendly, professional staff is ready to assist with weekly pickups or even special pickups. Check out the website at EnvirotechWaste.com. Envirotech is locally operated. Call 224-4804. Envirotech Waste Services in Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
When life throws you a curveball, May Adam Law Firm in Pierre is here to help you knock it out of the park. For over 130 years, we've been providing trusted legal expertise in business, family law, criminal defense, and more. Proud sponsors of this season's baseball action, we're committed to serving our community, both on and off the field. Need legal advice? Step up to the plate with May Adam Law Firm. Visit mayadam.net or call today. May Adam, South Dakota's law firm since 1881.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebine Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Well, it is the final score. Post 8 nearly came back from a 9-4 deficit. They got within 2, got the tying run at seconds, had the go-ahead run on base, but unable to get the base hit to tie the game up as they fall 9-7 here to the post 22 18U team as they finish pool play at 2-2. Will Danberg led off the game being hit by a pitch. He came in to score on the Porter Hunsley RBI's infield single. J.J. Buckles made it 2-0. Before then, it was a RBI double from Hudson Stosher. Ground rule double made it 3-0. And Danberg's sac fly had a 4-0 lead for post 8, but a 6-run second as Hudson Schaefer unable to get through that second inning. Ended up with 5 walks. He hit 2 different guys in the ball game, and those walks came back to haunt post 8. They had 7 walks in the game in total, but most of those walks, all but the one hit by a pitch and one other walk, did not come into score. as they fall 9-7. 6 runs in that second, another 3 in the fourth. Post 8 got a run in the sixth, but the bases loaded with nobody out and scored just 1 run in the sixth inning. And then in the seventh, they had the bases loaded with 2 outs and got an RBI hit from Carter Schuffelbein, an RBI walk from Bridger Babcock to make it a 9-7 game. But Trevor Rounds strikes out to finish out the ball game as they drop it 9-7. And Post 8 falls to 3-5 overall, now 2-2 in pool play as they will await to see who they will play tomorrow. And that will be determined on how the Post 320 pool finishes. Also be determined on how Grand Junction finishes, because if they would lose to Post 22 18U and to Post 22, or if they win one and lose one and still end up giving up more runs than what Post 8 did, that will put them in a different seed, in a different spot. So some of it may not be known until the end of, and actually won't be known until the end of the Post 22 Grand Junction game on where Post 8 will finish and who they may play across the way of the Post 320 pool. So every time is open right now. We will try and get it updated as early and as quickly as we can whenever we know. They could play at 10 a.m., 12:30, 3 or 5:30. Actually, probably it could still be 5:30. All those times are Central Time, by the way. If they're playing Post 320, they'll probably play at 5:30 Central Time tomorrow evening. But we'll have to wait to see exactly who they face on the Post 320 side and where they will, because they could play here at the Fitz, they could play over at Pete Lean. It'll all determine on how these games finish out for the rest of the nights going into Sunday. So that will wrap things up. Real quick, too, Hudson Schaefer went an inning and 2/3 as we go through the line total here. Got to finish this out before we get off the air. 1 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 6 runs, 5 walks, no strikeouts. Dawson Getz, 4 1/3 innings of relief, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Post 22 used 5 pitchers to get the win. Braden Staper got the win in 5 innings of relief, but Brody Lee threw a third of an inning. Carter Brager threw an inning. Reagan Koskin threw a third of an inning, and Brixton Steen threw a third of an inning to finish out, and Steen will get the save with the bases loaded and 2 outs. A base hit would have, they came in with the bases loaded up by 3 with 2 outs, but 1 hit could have tied the game up. But it ended up being 7 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and 7 men left on base for Pierre. 9 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 8 men left on for Post 22 18U. Time of the ball game was 2 hours and 14 minutes. We've got one more game here, the Veterans Classic, coming up tomorrow. Game time is still to be determined, but we'll be on the air around 15 minutes prior to first pitch between Post 8 and whoever their opponent might be coming from the Post 320 pool. We'll have it here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Thanks to Eliza Mayer back at the station. John Michael here signing off. 9-7 win for Post 22 18U over Pierre as we say so long from Rapid City.
You've been listening to Post 8 Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Post 8 Baseball is brought to you by Comtech, True Green Chemlon, Edward Jones Financial, Overhead Door, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, Jaeger, AGE, First Fidelity, State Farm Becky Patseva Agency, Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, Oahe Federal Credit Union, Missouri River Dentistry, Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping, Egtegra, Ferding Electric, Envirotech, Kruger Climate Systems, Stalkin Peterson LLP, Wagner Auto, the South Dakota Office of Attorney General, Division of Consumer Protection, Gales Gas, First United Methodist Church, Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, Beck Motors, May Adam, American Family Insurance Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, Lamb Motors, Bank West, CHS River Plains, Faith Lutheran Church, Graham Tire, Kathy Sunshine Properties, Venture Communications, and the American of Fort Pierre. Join us all season on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports for more Post 8 Baseball. This has been a special presentation of Riverfront Broadcasting.